My name is Jijo Klake. On social media, you can find me as Adventures of a Ghanaian Girl. Today, we're here to go through the process of tapping palm wine. The process that Ghanaians use to tap palm wine. We started this process about 2 weeks ago. The tree was uprooted. It had to, stay on the ground just like this for about a week. After which, we came here and we started tapping the palm wine. So, we'll go through the entire process. So let's go through everything. What I love about this process is that everything that is utilized is coming either from the plant or from another plant. Everything is done naturally. And here what you see the man doing is that he's sharpening or shaping the wood using a cutlass. He attaches a sharp tool to the edge of the wood. He uses this tool to remove the layers of the palm tree, and then he's fitting it properly, and that's what he's going to use to remove the layers of the palm tree. This is quite labor intensive. It requires, in my opinion, a lot of upper body strength and stamina. What the man just carried is the fruits. I won't bore you with the whole process, but needless to say, it took about 30 minutes to work on each tree. If there were more hands, I imagine it would be faster, but he was the only one doing all the work, so it took approximately 30 minutes to work on each plant. The palm tree is such that it comes in multiple layers. And what you see him doing here is that he's using a machete or a cutlass to remove some of the layers. And you see as he has stripped it, the tree looks very clean. It looks very beautiful in my opinion actually, when you get a closer look. Once the hard outside exterior has been removed, he's now using a cutlass to remove the layered nets and the palm branches. He's literally about to strip the plant naked. The branches will be used later in the palm wine tapping process. If you look properly, there are several layers of the plant. It's so beautiful and so clean. He's not removing these layers entirely because he's going to use it to cover the hole that he's creating now. He's creating a hole in the plant. This hole is very much square-like or rectangular in nature. It will not go through the entire plant. It's going to look almost like a bowl, just that it's going to be rectangular or box-like in shape. The sap will accumulate in this hole almost like a container. I am told in countries like Cameroon, the palm wine is tapped while the tree is still standing. So their technique differs a bit. Now he's using a smaller precision tool in cutting. According to him, he should cut as smooth as possible. Remember I mentioned earlier that he's going to close the opening? Well, that is what he's doing. After the initial square or rectangle hole is created, a smaller hole is further created as you see here using a metallic tool. He will drill the hole until the metal appears on the other side of the palm tree. He goes ahead to stick a plant into the hole. This serves almost as a pipe. He uses a stick to push it further down. So what you see him doing is that he's using another wood to push this further down so that it will appear at the other side of the plant. The purpose of this hole and the pipe is to allow the palm wine to flow into the container, which will be placed beneath the plant. He's using a stick. Right now what you see him doing is that he's sharpening a stick from the palm branch, and he's using it to clear the hole he's just created so that in case there are any particles, it will not obstruct the flow of the sap into the container. So that's really what he's doing here. And now you see him covering it up so that nothing will fall into the hole. The hole will be pretty much protected. And now he's making space for the container to sit comfortably. This is important because, we're out here and there are actually several animals walking around. We have goats, sheep, chickens, like all over the place. And it's very important that the container sits comfortably, because in the instance that it doesn't, and an animal is curious enough to tamper with the container, we would lose a lot of the sap. that it would produce. Because remember, we come here every 12 hours, so if anything changes, we will not see it until the next 12 hours. So it's important that the container is placed in a way that it would not be moved easily by any animal. And that's precisely what he's doing here. He's positioning it strategically so it isn't moved by any other animals. During this process, we visited the site every morning and evening, averagely every 12-hour interval. On each day, we carved a little bit more of the plant and cleared the pathway for the free flow of the palm wine into the container. He's making way for the palm wine to pass through. So you can see a little hole in there. So basically this is clean now. And the hole in there is where the palm wine is going to. So the palm wine will collect in here and go through that hole into this bottle, which currently already has some palm wine. Yeah, so that's the process. So as you can see, he's cleaning the hole and for more palm wine to collect. So he'll clean it this morning and then later on in the evening. And tomorrow we'll actually start the palm wine tapping process. So we are going to cover it up. We're going to cover it up, and that's it. So if you look at the size of this plant, it's a matured plant. It's much older than the one we saw at the other side. And if you look at the palm wine, you see that there's a lot. It has collected a lot of palm wine. So we expect that this tree will actually give us a lot of palm wine, because all the trees were felled on the same day and the process was done on the same day. But this has accumulated so much, and according to the gentleman, this will actually produce a lot of palm wine as opposed to the other ones. So we'll see. I think tomorrow we'll start the actual process. So hopefully tomorrow we see what can happen here. But I'm very excited about this. I love palm wine, so this is very exciting to me to see the process and how it is all done. And yeah, it has started accumulating. Yeah, that process. So we just cleaned out this hole, but you can see it has started. Wow, that's really sweet. Wow, that's really sweet. According to the gentleman, carving out the plant will allow the sap to form and accumulate. On its visit, we collect the palm wine. I was advised by my aunt not to consume the first batch of palm wine because according to her, the first batch causes diarrhea. I did not experience this, but my brother and his friend shared that experience. So it might depend on your stomach, but obviously you should tread cautiously. So this is the evening, and we're back here carving it out again and then making way for more sap to accumulate. So after 2 days of allowing the sap to accumulate naturally, we're going to introduce a fire source which will serve as a catalyst for the production of the palm wine. You will recall that I mentioned earlier that I appreciate this process because it utilizes the products of the palm plant. Well, that is what we have here. That is what we're going to see being done. So this is all palm wine. This is the evening of the second day, and so you can see there's more palm wine here than there was in the morning. So we're actually going to take this home and get a taste. So after pouring the palm wine, we fit the container back in place. We got one whole container. Tomorrow we'll be back. So this is from the palm plant. It's dried up, and what he has done is he has taken off the leaves. So these are some of the leaves, and that's what he's going to use to extract the palm wine. He's going to introduce fire to the plant that you see here, and then he's going to start extracting the palm wine. A cutlass to cut the branches into smaller pieces, more so that it becomes like a broom. The smaller pieces will catch fire more readily than if it were left as big as it was in the beginning. So they use this to clean the white residue that is inside the plant. So this is like it's like a brush. It's like a brush here, and you use it to get rid of this. Yes, to clean it. That's okay. So here they've started the fire, and very quickly the branches, yes, have started to be consumed by the fire, and we'll let it sit for a while until it becomes consumed to the point where we can use it further in the palm wine tapping process. So as you can see, the fire is building up, and we're at the point where we can use it in the palm wine tapping process. This is from the pawpaw plant, and it's used to aid in the extraction of the palm wine. It's used almost like a fan, so you blow through it, and the air from your lungs is supposed to fuel the flame. Yes, so that's basically what this is used for. Once you're able to fuel the flame, it helps in the production of the palm wine. So let's go and see that's one being done. That was hard work. After introducing the fire, the hole that was originally carved out is then cleaned. He's making sure that the hole isn't blocked. If you don't carve before introducing the fire source. You introduce the fire source and then you carve it out. Earlier, when the sap was accumulating naturally without the fire, we visited the site in the morning and in the evening, and on each visit we carved it out and then cleaned out the pipe. So there are remnants of the fire in the hole. As you can see, you have to quench the fire with this before akpamkumene. Before you squeeze it. Once you introduce the fire source, however, the process changes a little bit. So once you introduce the fire source, assuming you introduce the fire source in the morning, you carve it out. In the evening, when you go to the site, you don't introduce a fire source in the evening, you only carve it out. So essentially, you introduce the fire every 24 hours, but you carve out the plant every 12 hours. So that is the procedure that we utilized here, and it appeared to work for us. So here I am scraping the inside of the hole so that more palm wine can accumulate. So now I'm cleaning out the hole. This is so that the remnants of the fire doesn't block the hole that has been created for the palm wine to collect into the bottle. So I'm just opening the gates, basically, ensuring that there's no blockages. That's all this is. Okay, Daiwa. So you can see the palm wine is collecting. I imagine tomorrow morning we will have a lot of palm wine in this container. So I'll come back here tomorrow morning to see if it has collected. It's a pretty interesting process. I think the fire does serve as a catalyst for the production of more palm wine. Because as you can see here, let me just close this so you can have a look at something. If you look at this, within a span of a few minutes, it has started collecting. Okay, maybe not too much. I lied. Alright, good morning. So today we are back the day after we set fire to the palm tree to expedite the excretion of the sap, which in essence is the palm wine. So today we are back here, and we have been able to accumulate a bit of the palm wine. I don't know if you can see it, but this is what we have for this plant, and we have two other plants that we've been able to extract from. So we'll collect all the palm wine today, and we'll see how much. I'm hoping that it will fill one of these containers. So let's see what we have. So please come. So if you open it up, you see that it's still collecting here. Yes. So we're just going to clean it up. We're going to clean this up today, and then collect all the palm wine that we've been able to accumulate between yesterday and today. So this is what it looks like. Yes. So this is the palm wine. You see how clear it is? It's very, very clear. So we've been able to collect this much palm wine from one tree. So just from one tree, we've been able to collect this much. We have two other palm trees that we are interested in. So I'm hoping that by the end of the day, we'll be able to fill this container. So I'm gonna put this back so that it will continue to collect. So if you look at this, it seems a lot of the palm wine has collected in this hole. So I'd like to think that the hole that was made has sort of choked up. So we're gonna clear it out, and then hopefully the palm wine will be able to flow more freely. Yes. So this is from the second tree. Okay. So I think today is day 3 of the palm wine tapping process. Yesterday we introduced the fire source, and today we are here. We've been able to collect this much palm wine, and okay, so there was actually a third tree which is much younger, but I didn't like the look of the palm wine, so I decided not to add it to this. So this is actually from two trees, this very one that I'm standing next to, and then the other one. So all in all, I have to say, I think after these few days I believe I could probably tap palm wine. The only thing is that it requires a lot of upper body strength. It requires a lot of strength, which had me thinking, I wonder if there's a way to mechanize this process such that you don't really require that much strength to be able to extract palm wine. But all in all, for me, it was a very educational experience. So one thing I noticed is that the first few days when we allowed the palm wine to flow naturally from the tree, the palm wine was sweeter, it was much more clear, and it had a very nice smell to it. But once we introduced the fire, it almost smells fermented. As much as we just tapped it, which I just tapped this, but it smells like it's fermented, which is odd to me. And it doesn't taste as sweet, which is, yeah, again, odd. So I wonder why we don't just allow it to flow naturally as opposed to adding the fire source. One thing I did notice is that once you added the fire, it actually expedites the production of the palm wine. So that's probably why the fire is so critical in the whole process. But personally, probably selfishly, I would like it slower, just because I think that palm wine tastes much better. Another thing is that I think after this experience, I'm more inclined to pay for my palm wine, because imagine this being what you collect for a day. Oftentimes I think in Ghana here, when they mention a price, you try to beat it down, but after this I think I'm more inclined to pay that 10 cedis, which is less than $2. I'm more inclined to pay that for palm wine, because imagine every day you tap about 5 liters of palm wine. That's literally your job for the day, and I think it's a lot of work. A lot of work goes into it, so I'm more inclined to pay whatever amount they quote reasonably. And yeah, so that's it. Personally, this has been a wonderful experience. I have enjoyed every bit of it. I have learned so much about the process. I love palm wine, but I've never actually taken the time to follow the process through, and so this has been very educational for me. Yes, so please go ahead and let me know what you think about the process. If you ever find yourself in Ghana and you're interested in learning this, I can definitely take you around to observe the process. Also, please feel free to share this page, like, comment. It really goes a long way to help me out. I'm very new at this, so please go ahead and share and subscribe as well. Hit the subscribe button, and it really goes a long way to help me out. So thank you for watching.